Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video, where we're going to be talking about Fujin and Caius, who shall be receiving their reworks, C90s, force level enhancements, and Fujin shall be receiving her FR weapon. I will also be briefly talking about FF7 Cid, as his LD is going to be reran on both banners. But my main focus in this video is definitely going to be Fujin and Caius, because I definitely want to go over why I think Fujin's FR is not the best FR, and we'll get into it here in just a bit, and why I feel like it's going to be an FR that, unless she is a favorite of yours, it is probably best to pass up on, seeing as how the next pair of BT Plus units is going to be dropping with Transcendence 10 very soon. So we're going to get into all of that in this video. So do let me know down in the comment section below what your plans are going to be for the upcoming banners. If you're going to be pulling, are you going to be passing up on them, are you going to throw some resources, or whatever it is that you are going to do, let me know down in the comment section below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So Caius' rework to his skill 1 deals a 6-hit melee brave plus an HP attack 3 times. The plus version deals 50% splash damage. His skill 2 deals an 8-hit melee brave plus an HP attack 2 times. It recovers brave by 50% of the HP damage dealt after the first HP attack, and deals 20% splash damage after each HP attack. The plus version deals 50% splash damage. Now his LD turns into a 2-hit AoE melee brave plus an AoE HP attack 6 times that recovers brave by 50% of the HP damage dealt after each HP attack except for the last. His overhead adds a 10% brave damage up, now totaling 30%, and a 20% HP damage up, and his Guardian buff extends inflicted debuff's duration by 2 turns. Now his EX increases EX recast gauge speed by 15%, then deals a 3-hit AoE melee brave plus an AoE HP attack 5 times that recovers brave by 20% of the HP damage dealt after each HP attack except for the last. It now delays all targets by 1 turn. The plus version increases party brave gain to 50% of max brave before he attacks. He now recovers brave by 50% of the HP damage dealt in between HP attacks except for the last. And then finally his C65 turns into a 4-hit melee brave plus an HP attack, and it now adds a 20% attack up, now totaling 30%, and a 30% brave damage cap up. Now with Fujin, her skill 1 gains 1 use. It turns into a 4-hit AoE ranged brave plus an AoE HP attack 3 times that recovers 20% brave of the HP damage dealt after each HP attack except for the last. The plus version initiates a launch. Now her skill 2 gains 2 uses, and it turns into a 5-hit wind melee brave plus an HP attack 3 times that recovers 20% brave of the HP damage dealt after each HP attack except for the last. The plus version initiates a launch as well. She starts off with a LD buff at the start of quest for 6 turns. It turns into a 4-hit AoE wind ranged brave plus an AoE HP attack 5 times that recovers 20% brave of the HP damage dealt after each HP attack except for the last. Now her LD buff adds a 20% party HP damage up, and now allows the condition when the party deals weakness brave damage, it increases the party except self brave gain to 100% of the individual's max brave once per turn. Her EX turns into a 4-hit AoE wind ranged brave plus an AoE HP attack 4 times that recovers 20% brave of the HP damage dealt after each HP attack. It inflicts the wind resist down debuff to all targets for 4 turns after the first HP attack, extends the wind slash debuff to 4 turns, and delays all targets by 1 turn. Now her wind slash attack that triggers after an enemy's turns ends turns into a 6-hit wind ranged brave plus an HP attack 3 times that increases brave by 20% of the HP damage dealt, and makes the target ready to knock back on the next turn. Her C65 got extended to 7 turns. It turns into a 3-hit AoE ranged brave plus a single target HP attack. It adds a 5% party attack up, now totaling 20%, and a 20% party brave damage cap up. And then with Shadow as her partner, Fujin's FR increases party brave by 50% of the max brave, then deals a 6 hits AoE wind ranged brave plus an AoE HP attack 3 times that deals split HP damage. It delays all targets by 1 turn and initiates a knockback. Now with her FR conditions, they are as follows. A 20% increase whenever the party selects a wind ability or just dealing wind brave damage. And then a 40% increase whenever Fujin alone initiates a knockback. So is Fujin, Caius, or Cid worth chasing for in the upcoming banner? So we're going to start off with Caius. He did get a pretty solid rework in my opinion. I mean, his skill 2 may not be the best in terms of HP dump, so really you're going to be using his skill 2 to inflict said debuffs whenever you need to, especially the Chaos debuff, because that Chaos debuff, not only does it help out in being able to break the enemy after their own turn, but it also helps Caius out as well, because on certain skills, it actually has different effects. One of them being like being able to increase the amount of brave that Caius gets. Another one would also be the amount of splash damage that you would actually be dealing onto the enemy. So there's actually different things, and so he is pretty reliant on his Chaos debuff, or just basically like overall his like debuffs in general, but his Chaos is definitely, or his Doom, excuse me, is going to be the most important one for sure. But like overall though, with what he actually got and how good of a character he actually becomes now with his rework and whatnot, and now being able to access force enhancements, he can definitely be a very solid DPS unit to be able to, you know, have a force ability behind him, and being able to take advantage of a strong force ability will enable him to dish out some pretty high numbers, especially now that he has C90. His EX is going to be dealing much more damage, and the fact that his LD is what, 6 HP dumps now. Yeah, that's going to be a very good amount of damage that you're going to be getting out of Caius. So with Caius though, like if you're needing yourself a pretty solid DPS unit, a debuffer, and a character that is able to basically not re-break, but is able to like break the enemy in different ways, then Caius is not a bad picker for those who may have passed up on him in the past, or is considering picking him up now. In terms of the force level enhancements, you definitely want to give him a 30 out of 30. He is a DPS unit, and again, if you're going to be, you know, going into the BT phase with a force ability active, whoever it is that you are going to use, you want to make sure that you give him that full 30 out of 30, so that way you can get the most out of Caius. Now, Cid is not a bad character whatsoever. I do feel like with his LD and his EX abilities, like he can definitely dish out some extremely high damage because of the fact that his LD ability deals 9 HP dumps, his EX ability deals 13 HP dumps. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. His skill 1 and his skill 2 are nowhere compared to these two abilities, but like overall, Cid is not a bad character. He does have an overhead as well that once it reaches 3 stacks, it triggers a follow-up attack, which deals 6 HP dumps in total. So overall, he's not a bad character whatsoever. He's more of like a character where if you want to have some fun shenanigans and whatnot, then Cid is definitely your guy. He can dish out some very hefty damage. And finally, Fujin, her rework, her C90, very solid. I do like the changes that she actually got with both those two things. But the thing about it though is that her FR is not the best, and it's a real bummer because like the fact that only Fujin is able to launch the enemy and that's it, like literally nobody else is able to help her out, is a big bummer because that is her biggest increase. That 40% increase is only Fujin is able to increase it, and that's it. And that sucks because like the party is just pretty much gonna sit there and just like look pretty, you know, and only take advantage of the first condition, which is to deal wind brave damage, which hey, Fujin is able to party win in chat, so that's not going to be an issue there. The best way to play Fujin, if you decide that you want to pull for her FR, is going to be to pair her up with units that is able to deal off-turn damage or counter tanks. Counter tanks will love Fujin's FR because guess what? Fujin, while she is going to be the only character to be increasing it, or at least being able to increase it the most, everybody else will be able to take advantage of whatever she is able to increase it on top of adding that 20% increase with whatever ability they are going to be dealing. So like Fujin, you can technically work with her FR ability and whatnot, but she, I guess you could say like she will be very selective in terms of the teammates that she will be dealing. And like like her rework, especially with that debuff that is able to trigger a trap onto the enemies after the turn is over, and it deals 3 HP dumps. Like, she will be able to support and be able to deal additional HP damage with that as well, on top of like the rework and all that good stuff that she got. So like overall though, like it definitely could have been a better FR for sure if that second condition was party wide, but you can still make her work with specific units. So like overall, is it worth pulling for? If you don't have those type of units that is able to take advantage, like with like off-turn damage and all that good stuff, I would probably say it's best to probably hold off on her FR. But if you feel comfortable enough where you want to change the team comps that you normally use and kind of work around with Fujin's FR, then I would say go for it. I mean, like, I feel like she can definitely be, if used the right way, then you can probably you know, take advantage of what she does actually offer. Now, for those who just recently started playing the game, or who have not pulled for Fujin in the past, I would try, if you feel comfortable, to try to get her LD, because there is going to be future fights, there is going to be future FRs where wind enchant is needed. Now, her regular call is able to win it, party win enchant, but it's only for 3 turns. Her LD call is a little bit, I think it's like 5 turns if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me on that. No, 6 turns, excuse me. So you get double the turns if you do manage to get her LD ability. So that's something to consider if you are thinking about pulling on this banner and trying to get at least her LD for future FRs, so let's say Sabin or Dorgan, or for future Shinryu fights where you need to be enchanted with wind to be able to deal brave damage. So that's something to consider for any newer players. But like overall though, like her FR, I would say you could probably hold off until like a future FR or whatever character it is that you're trying to save up for. Continue to save your resources and all that good stuff. So but yeah guys, other than that, that's gonna be it for the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care. I'll catch you guys in the next one.